In this video, we're going to explain what all the villain and hero teams are in My Hero Academia Season 6's All-Out War arc, who is in those teams, and where we're going to see them move for the first couple episodes of Season 6 to set up all the battles that are to come. From the 4 different garrisons of the Paranormal Liberation Front's army to the different squadrons of heroes, watch this video to find out where they are, how far apart everyone is from each other, and how things could all come together in the most chaotic possible way. Coming up. So if you're like me, I definitely think you want to know what's the deal with the new League of Villains teams that our favorite main villain cast are all lieutenants of, and these squads are labeled as follows. First off, we have the Vanguard Action Tactics Regiment, and their color is black. And unlike the other groups, they're led by only one lieutenant, and that would be Twice. This is because, of course, Twice can clone himself, but if he wants any of the advice of any other lieutenant of the League, he could just clone one of them and ask them what they would do here, since the people he clones think that they're real, and they think and act like the original would, which is extremely useful, and that's why I think it makes sense for Twice to be in charge of tactics, even when he's not really that bright sometimes. The second group is the Vanguard Action Guerrilla Warfare Regiment, and their color is violet, and that team is led by Getten and Dabi together, which would be a crazy combination on the battlefield due to their fire and ice, and they definitely would control a lot of the area. The Vanguard Action Intelligence Regiment is run by Toga and Skeptic, and this again makes sense because Toga can basically be anybody and has shown a great ability to get in and out of facilities like UA or the Provisional License Stadium with ease under another identity. And Skeptic has control of satellites and all sorts of hacking techniques that he can also use for espionage. Lastly, we have the Vanguard Action Support Regiment, color brown, and that's led by Mr. Compress and Spinner, who hopefully won't have all of his scenes cut in this season of My Hero Academia. Now, I remember when all the panels of all these characters dropped in the manga, I was excited to see what each and every individual on these team pages was capable of. But in reality, in the manga, we only see some of them, like the Electric Quirk user on Spinner Squad, but the anime is known to fill out episodes of some bonus material, and usually it's pretty well done, so I'd expect to see a little more of these squad members who are all, along with Gigantomachia, stationed at the Gunga Mountain Villa at the beginning of My Hero Academia Season 6 because they had a massive meeting as they were all on standby waiting for Shigaraki's surgery and healing process to be complete. Now, outside of the Gunga Mountain Villa where the villains are mostly located, we have a huge team of heroes led by Edgeshot. Team Edgeshot is the advance guard of this entire war operation by the heroes, and their job is to shock and surprise the villains at their base with a surprise hero raid, in an attempt to capture every single Paranormal Liberation Front member. That's right, their goal is actually to capture every single villain and false hero working for these guys in one fell swoop. So you can see why the heroes have practically called on every hero in Japan for this to work. Edgeshot's team has notable heroes in it that you'd recognize like Gang Orca, Cementos, Mount Lady, Midnight, Sun Eater, Phantom, Kaminari, Tokoyami, Mudman, Yoroi Musha, and Kamui Woods. But there looks to be at least 100 or more heroes that are in this area. Behind them, deep in the forest, we have the second part of Team Edgeshot, the Rear Guard, and that team is mostly made up of Class 1A and 1B students with the occasional Shiketsu student mixed in. We have Momo, Kirishima, Mina, Sero, Jiro, Aoyama, Mineta, and a few others, but I do find it rather interesting that they brought Kaminari, Tokoyami, and a couple other students to the front line and didn't leave them for the Rear Guard, because I wonder if that says that the pros think that Kaminari and those others have more potential, at least in this sort of situation, than some of their peers do. Now, the Rear Guard's job is to capture anyone that gets past the Front Guard, and to communicate with the main team to ensure that every last villain is captured. 80 kilometers away from the Gunga Mountain Villa though, that's 50 miles for my fellow Americans, we have the other half of the heroes, who are all centered around the Jakku Hospital for 2 people. Endeavor leads another large team of heroes with some heavy hitters on his team as well. Team Endeavor's advance guard consists of Endeavor, of course, Mirko, Ectoplasm, Rocklock, Aizawa, Present Mike, the Pussycat Dolls, Wash, Ryukyu, and others like Crust and Exless, and their job is to storm the Jakku Hospital and capture Dr. Kyudai Garaki, otherwise known as Daruma Ujiko, the evil quirk doctor all the way from episode 1, who's been working alongside All for One and the League of Villains to create an army of Nomu and perfect Shigaraki's body. Endeavor and the group of heroes go directly for the doctor, but Mirko was sent in alone thanks to her instincts and impressive speed and power, to go into the basement and find Shigaraki's tank, destroying it so that Shigaraki will never wake up, giving the heroes victory in the war. That's their plan. But could things possibly go so easily? Sure, the Doctor and Shigaraki are the only official villains at this location, but by raiding the Doctor's lab, the heroes know that they're in for a fight against hordes of Nomu, which is largely what we see threatening the heroes in this area as the arc goes on. The main threat, of course, though, is Shigaraki, who must not be allowed to wake up or things are going to go immediately south for the heroes. But because the opening song and the trailers, you know Shigaraki isn't staying asleep forever, so let's see how the heroes plan on dealing with him once he wakes up. Further away from the hospital though, we have the final team, which is the rear guard for Team Endeavor. And this team features members like Deku, Bakugo, Ida, Ochako, Froppy, Koda, Todoroki, Burnin, and other members of Endeavor's agency. Their job is to evacuate as much of the area as needed and to basically cover a large section of the town with their presence so that if their fighting extends beyond the hospital, the town itself isn't defenseless and hopefully the residents will be evacuated by then. Remember that this whole operation is secret, so telling people that they need to evacuate is going to be a difficult task, but once the mayhem and action actually starts here, I don't imagine people are going to need that much motivation to run from villains as the heroes start to fight. And now the battlefield is set, but don't expect things to stay this way. That's because there's a very big X factor that's going to massively change the battlefield in this war arc, and that is Gigantomachia. This guy is a beast and he can practically go anywhere that he wants to, taking characters and dropping them off in various areas along the way of his path. So if two characters that you want to see interact in this war arc are in two different areas, don't worry, it's possible that you might still get your wish. But that is where every hero and every villain team is located in My Hero Academia Season 6, and now you can start to piece together who's going to be fighting and when, and please feel free to refer to this video whenever you need if the battles get too chaotic. And if things change drastically, we'll do maybe another one of these videos to keep you updated on the whereabouts of all your favorite characters. Was this video useful? Are you enjoying My Hero Academia Season 6? Hit that subscribe button to join me on our journey to 1,000,000 subs, and let me know what sort of content you want to see in the comment section below. I love you guys, it's Pineapple, see you again soon with even more content. Peace.